Alright guys, so I just thought I'd make a short video just to show you how to do your history folder from home online. If you've done a hard copy one and have done it all by hand, you don't need to worry about this, okay? But if you are going to do it digitally, then just have a look through this video and hopefully I explain it well enough. So what I've done is on Classroom, I'm going to put this checklist on here. And basically what this checklist does is if I go into our Classroom, and I go down, down, down to research folder and I click in it, you guys will have a copy of this, and this is the assessment document. So on the assessment document, when it chooses to load, if I go down, 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 God, this is slow. Ridiculously slow. Okay, here we've got the actual steps, right? So student instructions. So 1, identify a topic. 2, possible sources. 3, select and organize relevant evidence. 4, record source details. And 5, evaluate the research progress. So I've turned this into a bit of a checklist for you. And all you need to do is really follow the checklist and do everything on it within your Google folder. So the first thing I want you to do is make your own folder. So I helped Emily out to do this. So Emily, we're using you as an example on how to do this. So basically what I've done is you have a source folder for each source. So 6 all up. You might want to do more if you want an even better grade. And what you want is in each source folder, you have a blank Google Doc so you can copy your resource on, and then you've got your evaluation sheet to go with it. So you need a blank doc and evaluation sheet in each folder. And then if I look at my checklist, the first thing I need to do is I've created a focus for my research, a title page and a research topic. So this might look something like this. So this is what Emily's done. Got pictures. She's got the title of her event. She's got who she is. And then down here in the next step, I've written my 3 focus questions to guide my research. And remember, they need to be one about cause, one about consequence, one about significance to people. And they all need to be a different highlighter color, okay? Then what I'd like you to do is, we did this in class, so at least 4 possible sources for information relevant to the topic are identified, so like libraries, history teachers, textbooks. Here's some examples. So we did this in class, so I haven't given you a template for how to do this, but just on your Google Doc, basically what you'll do is maybe on one side you put the types of sources and on the other side you write about what you expect to find in them. I'll put out a template later for that. But this next part, evidence is clearly and effectively organized. So if I can see that your folders and your sources are organized into different folders, or you've organized them into types of sources or something like that, then that shows me that. That shows me that you've organized it, right? And then what you need to do is you need to make sure you've found at least 6 items of relevant evidence. So this is just our normal sources, okay? You need to make sure that they're both primary and secondary though. So I don't mind if it's mostly secondary, but you need a few primary in there as well. So if you can't remember the difference between primary and secondary sources, you need to Google it, please. But I've given you some examples of different source types down here. And what I expect you to do, so say I really liked this source. I'm doing the Great Depression. I found the source. It's all good. What I do is I copy the info and then I'd go to a blank document and then I'd paste it onto that blank document. So say this was my first source. I go in here, I find my blank doc, I click into it and I copy and paste the information. Now, once the information's copied and pasted on, then what I need to do is I need to highlight and annotate. So I've got the information here, and just like Emily's done, you go through and you highlight any information that's relevant to those questions, right? So if I found information relevant to the cause, then I'd highlight it in red. And all you do is next to it, you just need to annotate by making a comment. So in Google Docs, all you do is you highlight information and see this little comment box, click the comment box, and then all you do is tell me, why did you highlight it? So what is it relevant to? What did you find out? What does this information tell you? Okay. So once you've highlighted and annotated, so yeah, you do that 6 times, right? I find a document, I copy and paste it, I put it on a doc, I highlight, I annotate. Once I have done that, then I need to do a source evaluation sheet. So for a source evaluation sheet, bibliographical details is just what it is, like where you got it from, all that sort of stuff. So if you need help with that in history, use Chicago referencing. So I'll go up here and I'll Google Chicago referencing, and it tells you pretty much exactly how to do it. Author's surname, pages, year of publication. Okay, so you'll have to Google that for yourself. That goes in here, bibliographical details. Then what type of source was this, and do you think it was reliable or not? So you need to say it was a primary source, it was a secondary source, and whether or not it was reliable needs to be your own comments. So what sort of source was it? Where did it come from? Are the authors reliable? Was there bias? Any of that sort of stuff. Then what you need to do is you need to summarize the main idea. So you need to be very specific and use evidence from the source you've just read. So if I read something about the causes, I'm not just going to say this source told me about the causes. You're going to say this source told me and specifically quote from your source, okay? So I expect at least a paragraph of information telling me about what you've learned or what the source talked about. And then the same thing for this. Did it help you answer your research question? So again, you're going to use actual evidence from the text that help you relate to that question, okay? So you're kind of just rewording those annotations that you've made, telling me why you highlighted things. So a paragraph here, and a paragraph here, and a bibliographical details for like we just talked about before. So that's this part. Then we've highlighted and annotated, that's that part, and we've done evaluation sheets. So basically, when I look at your folder at the ends, you should have done this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sources at least, 9 if you're going for excellence, okay? So I've done my sources, I've organized them, and then I've done the evaluation sheet. The last thing you need to do is a research evaluation. So this will be on your own Google document, and it's this part down here, evaluate the research progress, okay? So in my folder, I'll just do another Google Doc. And then in this Google Doc, I answer these questions. Okay, the more information, the better, and the more critical you are, the better your grade. Okay, so you can't just be waffling and talking about things that aren't really relevant. I want you to really try and answer these questions in depth with examples and details. Okay. So it says to describe at least 3, but really to get merit and excellence, what I need to see is 1 to 2 pages. So I would just use each of these as a heading, and underneath what I'd do first is bullet points some ideas. So say the successes and difficulties, I might just bullet point some ideas and then turn it into sentences and paragraphs from there, okay? So the more information and the more critical you are in your evaluation, the closer you'll get to excellence, okay? Sweet as. Once you've done that, and once you've got all your folder done, then all I want you to do is do what Emily did and share it with me. Make sure it's your name and then history. And then up on Google Classroom, you should be able to submit work. So hopefully by the end of this, rather than saying 0 turned in, it's going to say 24 turned in, and you should be able to submit a folder. If you can't submit a folder, you're going to have to just share the folder with me anyway, and I'll be able to have a look through it, whether you can do it through Classroom or not. But regardless, can you please click turned in when you're finished so I know who to look through and who to mark and who not to. So hopefully they explain things a bit better. Hopefully you have an understanding of what you need to do. Just make sure also that you've had a read through of this stuff. No, it's a bit complex. I'll add another document that tells you the different levels of achieve merit and excellence, and just make sure that you're doing things in depth and the best that you can. And if you are confused about anything, can you please be emailing and communicating? I sent you out an email as well about due dates and whatnot, so you've got until next Friday to complete this. And basically you just need to communicate with me if you need help. Once it's done, then I'm going to mark them all after that Friday. If you've done a hard copy, then I might have to come around and do it like a letterbox drop-off type situation. So you might have to leave it in your letterbox and I'll pick it up, just so I can be able to mark those ones who haven't done it digitally. Otherwise, just checking it on Classroom like this is absolutely fine. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me, and that is about it. Thanks, guys.